Okay, hi everyone. So in this chapter, I'm going to be talking about the scale degrees and generally the scale of F sharp, okay? And okay, that is the F sharp major scale. So that's the first point that you're supposed to begin when you are approaching any new key, okay? And the concepts that we learn in this F sharp course, as we call it, is are going to be applied to all other keys. So if you want to learn any other new key, just apply the same concepts, the same stages, okay? So I encourage you to try and translate this to other keys so that you keep on growing, see? So the first point is to start off with the major scale. And as you know, on a major scale, we have, whole steps and half steps. So from the first note to the second note, we have a whole step. That is from F sharp to G sharp. From the second to the third, we have a whole step, G sharp to A sharp. From the third to the fourth, we have a half step, A sharp to B. From the fourth to the fifth, there is a whole step, B to C sharp. From the fifth to the sixth, we have a whole step, C sharp to D sharp. From the sixth to the seventh, we have a whole step, D sharp to F. And from the seventh to the eighth, we have a half step. So that is how a major scale is constructed, okay? 2 whole steps. So a whole step means you're skipping one note, and a half step means you go straight to the next note, okay? So we have 2 whole steps on a major scale, a half step, then 3 other whole steps, then a final half step. So F sharp major scale is F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, F, back to F sharp. And the fingering, the correct fingering for this scale would be, now this is finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Backwards, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2. Okay? Now, I encourage my students to always start by learning fingering, because when you start with the fingering exercises, you develop speed in your hand, okay? So for example, I can just play this scale without fingering from the top to the bottom. Then backwards. So not the fingering. Switch to finger 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know maybe you can't see that, but same thing. And then also work on your fingering for the left hand. So these fingering exercises are just to help you to develop speed and flexibility in your hand, so that both hands are developing at the same strength, okay? So on the left hand, the fingering is 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, okay? 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4. Backwards, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the fingering for the left hand. Right hand. So practice those fingerings so that you are comfortable on the scale, okay? Because the key, the most important thing in learning and being comfortable in a key is being comfortable on the scale. So being comfortable on that F sharp major scale. That's the first thing to do, okay? Now, on a major scale, we have 8 notes, okay? And each of those notes represents a position on the scale, okay? So in music, we'll usually talk more about the numbers, what we call the Nashville number system, more than just the chords, right? If you haven't gone through my level 1 course, which I call the foundational course, I'd really encourage you to go through it because I've gone into depth discussing these things. So what is the Nashville number system? When you look at a band, talking in terms of numbers, you'll just see maybe the pianist telling the guitarist, let's go to chord number 1 or chord number 4 or 5 or 6 or 3 or 2. You need to understand what those numbers mean, okay? Because when the key changes, you'll quickly know what you're supposed to do. So let's look at the Nashville number system in the key of F sharp. Now, on a major scale, every position occupies a specific chord. So for example, on this F sharp major scale, we have 8 chords, okay? Or 7 chords if you don't count the 8th, because the 8th is the same as the first, okay? So we have chord number 1, which is F sharp, 2 is G sharp, 3 is A sharp, 4 is B, 5 is C sharp, 6 is D sharp, 7 is F, 8 is F sharp. So on the first chord, the first position, you will play it as a major chord. That means that will be an F sharp major chord. F sharp major, F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. That's an F sharp major chord, okay? In position 2, we'll play a minor chord. That is G sharp minor, G sharp B, and D sharp, okay? In position 3, we'll play a minor chord, which is A sharp minor. That is A sharp, C sharp, and F. In position 4, you'll play a major chord, which is B major. Position 5, you'll play a major chord, which is C sharp major. Position 6, you'll play a minor chord, which is D sharp minor. Okay, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. Then position 7, you'll play a diminished chord, which is F diminished. Okay. Now those are just triads, and what are triads? Triads are just chords that have 3 notes. Okay, F sharp major, G sharp minor, A sharp minor, B major, C sharp major, D sharp minor, F diminished, back to F sharp major. Those are triads because you're only playing chords that have 3 notes. But what about the scale degrees, or the chords along the scale that have more than 3 notes, the extended chords? So in terms of the extended chords, the first position will be a major 7th chord. Okay, so we have F sharp major 7th. Okay, that is F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and F. That's chord number 1. Then chord number 2 is G sharp minor 7th, which is G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. Then chord number 3 is A sharp minor 7th. That is A sharp, C sharp, F, and G sharp. Chord number 4 is major 7th, which is B major 7th, which is B, D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp. Chord number 5 is a C sharp diminished 7th, not diminished, but dominant 7th chord. C sharp dominant 7th, which is C sharp, F, G sharp, and B. Now, along this course, you can also get my check the chord chart. Okay, I'll attach the chord chart and the level 1 ebook, where you can get diagrams of all these kinds of chords. Major 7ths, what we call extended chords. Okay, and those of you who have gone through my level 1 course, the foundational course, you already learned how these chords are constructed. Okay, so these are C sharp dominant 7th chord, C sharp, F, G, and B. Of course, you add a flat 7, C sharp, the 7 is C, and B is the flat 7 to get the C sharp dominant 7th chord, C sharp, F, G sharp, and B. Chord number 6 is D sharp minor 7th, D sharp, F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. Chord number 7 is F diminished 7th. So you have F, G sharp, B, and D. Okay, so those are the chords. When you're given a song, there are people who are, maybe you're at a level where you're just playing 3 chords, or 4, or 5. But what you have to understand is, whenever you are given a song, you have 7 chords that you can use to play that song along the scale. So chord number 1 is F sharp major 7th. Number 2 is G sharp minor 7th. Number 3 is A sharp minor 7th. Number 4 is B major 7th. Number 5 is C sharp dominant 7th. Number 6 is D sharp minor 7th. Number 7 is F diminished 7th. And of course, you go back to number 8, which is the same as number 1. That is our F sharp major 7th. Okay. So you need to understand those what we call scale degrees. Okay. There's 7 chords along the scale, so that you stop playing this 1, 4, and 5. Okay. Or maybe you just know one minor chord. So you have to realize that we have how many major chords on a scale? On the scale, how many? 3. Okay. F sharp major 7th. That's chord number 1. Chord number 4 is B major 7th. And chord number 5 is C sharp major, or you can play it as C sharp dominant 7th. And then we have 3 minor chords. Okay. Chord number 2, G sharp minor 7th. Chord number 3, A sharp minor 7th. And chord number 6, D sharp minor 7th. Okay. So just remember that you can always play chord number 1 as a major 7th chord and chord number 4 as a major 7th chord. So in this case, we have F sharp major 7th and B major 7th, right? And then you can always play all the minor chords as minor 7th. So you have G sharp minor 7th, S sharp minor 7th, and D sharp minor 7th, right? So add those 7ths, okay, to your major and to your minor chords, all right? Now, after now you're comfortable with those scale degrees, okay? I can say that you are done with 80% of the work. Really, that's true, because understanding numbers is the foundation of understanding music. Really, understanding the scale degrees, those 7 chords, that is the foundation, because all the other things will be built upon that. Okay, so just take time and master those 7 chords. Start from chord number 1, so that, for example, when you start looking at chord progressions, if somebody tells you play a 2, 5, 1 chord progression, you need to understand what those numbers mean. Okay, what is a 2, 5, 1 chord progression, for example, in the key of F sharp? We shall go deeper into chord progressions, but just to highlight right now, 2, 5, 1. What is chord number 2? Chord number 2 is G sharp minor 7, right? G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. What is chord number 5? C sharp dominant 7th. Okay. What is chord number 1? F sharp major 7th. So a 2, 5, 1 chord progression in the key of F sharp is G sharp minor 7th, C sharp dominant 7th to F major 7th. So this is common a lot in jazz music. Okay, so you'll have that 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. Okay, right. So in the next chapter, we are going to talk about inversions. Okay, inversions in the key of F sharp, and inversions also of the extended chords, and how we can take advantage of chord inversions in playing songs in this particular key. So let's move on to the next chapter. All right, now welcome to the second chapter of this F sharp course. We're calling it the F sharp course. And in this section, I want to talk about inversions in the key of F sharp and how we can take advantage of inversions. Now, maybe you're already playing some inversions, okay? You're playing some inversions, but maybe in terms of application, every song usually works best when you play it using a particular inversion, okay? There are some points in a song that require you to play a specific inversion so that the song is well supported, so to speak. The song needs to be well supported with a particular inversion, okay? Now, let me just start by breaking down. I know some of you are beyond this, but I'll just highlight it because of those who may not be here, okay? So this is chord number 1, F sharp major. There are 2 inversions to this chord, okay? So that is F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. You can play this as A sharp, C sharp, and F sharp, or C sharp, F sharp, and A sharp. Those are inversions of that chord. That's the root position, first inversion, second inversion. Now, let's play the F sharp major seventh. Now, when you add the sevenths now, like here you're adding the F to get F sharp major seventh, you also need to master the inversions of this chord. So the first inversion would be here. Okay. The second inversion would be here. C sharp, F, F sharp, and A sharp. The next inversion would be here. F, F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. So we have that, and that. So the extended chords, the major sevenths and the minor sevenths, have one extra inversion because there's another additional note on top. Okay, so those are the inversions of F sharp plus the F sharp major seventh. Let's look at the next chord, the G sharp minor. Okay, that's chord number 2. So we have G sharp, B, and D sharp. The first inversion would be B, D sharp, and G sharp. The second inversion would be D sharp, G sharp, and B. That's the root position, first inversion, second inversion. So just encourage you, do this exercise. Up the keyboard, seeing those inversions. G sharp minor inversions, moving up and down. Be very comfortable with this. Okay? Now, what about the extended chord, which is the G sharp minor seventh? G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. Okay? So that would be, that's the root position. The first inversion for this would be that. Second, the third. Okay? And of course, you go back to the root. Be very comfortable with that. Okay? That's chord number 2, G sharp minor 7. Chord number 3 is A sharp minor 7th or B flat minor 7th. So remember, A sharp is the same thing as B flat because this is A and this is B. This is B flat, or you can also call it A sharp. Okay? Just to mention that for those who may not know the enharmonic names, that means these the black notes. Okay? So that when you hear somebody saying flat and sharp, you know that what they are talking about. So when you hear of B flat, know it's the same thing as A sharp. Okay? C sharp, same thing as D flat. D sharp, same thing as E flat. F sharp, same thing as G flat. G sharp, same thing as A flat. Okay? You know, I hear many people who play the key of F sharp calling this F. This is not F. F is this. Okay? This is F, this is G, this is F sharp or G flat. Okay, back to this. A sharp minor 7th. Okay? A sharp, C sharp, F, and G sharp. The first inversion for this would be C sharp, F, G sharp, and A sharp. And the next inversion, sorry, then next inversion, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, F. So be very comfortable with those inversions, okay? Next one is B major 7th, okay? So we have this B major 7th here. You can also have this one, F sharp, A sharp, B, and D sharp. We can also have this B, then you add the A sharp to get a B major 7th, okay? Right? And of course that, and of course B, add the A sharp to get the B major 7th, okay? B major 7th, 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 okay? Then C sharp dominant 7th, we have that C sharp, F, G sharp, and B, or you can have B, C sharp, F, and G sharp, or you can have this inversion, G sharp, B, C sharp, and F, right? So the key thing to understanding inversions, especially for extended chords, it can be a little bit confusing, but this is what I usually do. I usually ask myself, what is the seventh note? So I go to whatever inversion of the triad, and then I just add the seventh note. For example, for a C sharp dominant seventh, you know, for extended chords, it can be quite tricky beginning to calculate inversions in your mind, okay? Because now you're wondering, okay, what? There are 4 notes. But the simple thing to do is this. For example, when I'm playing a C sharp dominant seventh, if I just want to get the inversions quickly, if I'm comfortable with the inversions of the triads, okay? So I know this is C sharp major. C sharp major is C sharp, F, and G sharp. If I want to get the C sharp dominant seventh chord, I know the note that I'm adding on that is a B, okay? So I can go to whatever inversion of C sharp major and just add a B to it to get a C sharp dominant seventh chord, so that I'm not calculating, you know, making all those calculations, you know. So I just go, for example, to this inversion of C sharp major, and then I add a B. I have a C sharp dominant seventh chord. If I go to this C sharp major, just add a B. I have a C sharp dominant seventh chord, okay? Anywhere I go, add the B, or add the B, C sharp dominant seventh chord, so that I'm not calculating and wondering and trying to find that. No. Ask yourself, what is the note you're adding to your triad to get the extended chord? So if I'm looking, for example, for inversions of D sharp minor, okay? D sharp minor seventh. So I have D sharp minor 7, that is the root. You add the C sharp to the D sharp minor to get the D sharp minor 7th, okay? So if I'm at this inversion of D sharp minor, I just add the C sharp. I have D sharp minor 7. Or if I'm here, I just add the C sharp, D sharp minor 7. If I'm here, D sharp minor 7. If I'm here, I can add this C sharp at the bottom, D sharp minor 7. If I'm here, the one at the top, C sharp at the top, D sharp minor 7. So just always ask yourself, what note are you adding to the triad to get the extended chord, so that you avoid the, you know, too much of calculation, okay? Know the 7th note, okay, that you are adding to the chord to get the extended chord. Then on whatever inversion of the triad you're in, you just add the 7th note and you have the inversion of the extended chord, okay? So go through those inversions of these extended chords and then learn the relationships. For example, I usually just want to understand this. For example, when I'm on this inversion of F sharp major, okay, I have my F major 7th here. I have my D sharp minor 7th here, because this is D sharp minor inverted. If you add the C sharp, you have D sharp minor 7th. F sharp major 7th, B major 7th. So know those movements from one extended chord to another and how close they are. And one trick with these extended chords, especially these major 7ths and minor 7ths, avoid jumping far away, okay? We look at song examples in the next chapters. So avoid, for example, when you're moving from this F sharp major 7th and you want to go to a C sharp dominant 7th, avoid this kind of movement, okay? It's so wide, because when you're here, you can simply do this. This is C sharp dominant 7th, F sharp major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. So be very comfortable moving from one extended chord to another extended chords in their inversions, okay? So I'm not moving from this F sharp major 7th to this, okay? So from that to that. F major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. Why? Because this is C sharp major, the inversion of C sharp major. I know you are comfortable with this. G sharp, C sharp, and F. I'm just adding the B because I know B is the note, the flat 7. You add the flat 7 to get the dominant 7th chord, okay? So F sharp major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. F sharp major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. Okay? For example, F sharp major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. F sharp major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. Okay? F sharp major 7th, D sharp minor 7th, F sharp major 7th, D sharp minor 7th, D sharp minor, add the C sharp to get a D sharp minor 7th. So I'm very comfortable with the inversions of all these extended chords. So at whatever position I am, I know the closest inversion of that chord is around there. So I don't have to jump all the way to the root, okay? So that if I'm at F sharp major 7 and I want D sharp minor 7, I don't have to jump here. I just move from that and I know I have that D sharp minor 7th, F sharp major 7th, D sharp minor 7th. Because I know this is D sharp minor and I know I'm adding the C sharp to get a D sharp minor 7th, okay? F sharp major 7th, F sharp major, D sharp, B major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. So if I'm playing that movement, F sharp major 7th, D sharp minor 7th, B major 7th, C sharp dominant 7th. 1, 6, 4, 5. All my inversions are here. So my 1 is that F sharp major 7th, my 6 is that inversion of D sharp minor 7th, and then my 4 is that inversion of B major 7th, and then my 5 is that inversion of C sharp dominant 7th, okay? So all my chords are in one place, okay? I'm not moving up and down, huh? Okay? So be comfortable with those inversions, okay? And when we begin looking at the song examples, we'll begin looking at what is the best inversion to use for this particular song at this point of the song. And most of the time, you know, you play the inversion that supports the melody of the song, okay? For example, if I just play a song like, give thanks with a grateful heart, give thanks with a grateful heart, give thanks to the Holy One, give thanks because He's given. Why am I playing? Because He's given and not because He's given or any other inversion, because I have to use an inversion that supports the melody. And we'll be looking at that into greater detail when we begin looking at the song examples, okay? So go through those inversions of all those extended chords from chord number 1 to chord number 8 so that you are very comfortable seeing the inversions, okay? Inversions of these extended chords, okay? Okay. See those inversions very comfortably, all right? So that will come to your advantage when we now begin going deeper into the songs, okay? Thank you. So let's move on to the next chapter, where I'm going to be talking about passing chords, okay? Now, exciting, passing chords. The third chapter, passing chords in the key of F sharp. Thank you.